I've asked on my Twitter for some bold Nottingham Forest fan opinions ahead of the new season. And there really is some bold ones in here, so this is going to be interesting going through these comments. There's 86 comments, so I can't really go through all of them. And quite a few of them do repeat themselves, kind of. So there's that as well. But if you do want to be involved in these videos in the future, then make sure you follow my remarkable Twitter account at Rads_NFFC on screen right here. Please, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you do hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new, and let's get into this, shall we? We will win 2 away games. I mean, I'd like to think so, because if we're going to have to rely on our home form again, then, yeah, that's a bit depressing, really. But based off our away form to start this season against all the big 6, then I have a feeling you may be wrong at the start of the season, but you get what I'm saying. Hopefully we can win more than 1 game away from home. Anthony has said Morgan Gibbs White will be called up to the England senior squad. I agree, and I think he should be after showing what he did at the Under-21 Euros. He's an absolute gem of a player and a great professional, and he deserves to get into the senior team. Now this is what you call bold. Joel has said Chris Wood will get 5+ goals. I hope he does, to prove me wrong, but this is if he stays at the club, because there's still reports that he may very well be getting loaned out or sold, despite the fact we've paid £15 million for him. So if he does get sold, that is horrendous recruitment. He's a proven Premier League player at the end of the day. I just don't think maybe he fits our system or just isn't into it or whatever. I don't know, but he hasn't been very good so far besides that goal against City. Elliot has said the near Karte throw will lead to at least 15 goals this season. I think that's an excellent take. 15 goals is quite a lot. I mean, I do think, to be fair, the tail end of the last season, it probably led to about 6 goals. So over the course of an entire season, yeah, it could actually be possible, to be honest. We all live in a world of Ryan Yates. I mean, who doesn't? Yates scores 5+ goals. I think he could do that. He did do that in the Championship. He didn't actually score in the Premier League last year, I don't think. He scored in the League Cup, I know that, against Grimsby. That's niche knowledge, isn't it? Maybe Bray has said, if we avoid major injuries, we will get top half. That's a very good point. I think if we see how the squad played at the end of last season, fully gelled with a few new lads, getting Loddy and Henderson back, for example, and then a midfielder, striker kind of player. If we see the kind of performance we did at the end of last season with new lads to hopefully improve us for hopefully more often than not throughout an entire season, there is no reason at all why we couldn't get top half based off that. But again, it is down to whether we get injuries or not. The Slack 22, it's an interesting name, has said Forest will break their transfer record again this season. I mean, if we're going to talk about the full fee for Morgan Gibbs White, it's about 40 million. I don't see us breaking that. If we're going to talk about like the 25 million fee for Gibbs White, maybe. Only we need to sign some players for that to happen, and hopefully that comes imminently. Lou, I think that's how you say your name, mate. Omar Richards plays a game. That's probably the boldest take of the season, really. Even though it's back in training, will we actually see Omar Richards play a football match? I hope so, because I think there's a good player in there. We will finish above 1 of the big 6. That is a bold take. Maybe Chelsea, the way they're going, possibly. Maybe Spurs, even though Spurs have actually made some good signings. They're still Spurs. It's not impossible. Only that is literally a bold take. Ben has said we won't lose another game at home in 2023. If we look again at how we did at the end of last season, on that kind of form, our home games for the rest of the year. I mean, Man United, we've not scored a goal against them yet, so you probably will lose that. Spurs, it is a game you could very well lose, really. Only we did beat them last season. Brighton, you would say that's a losable game, but we beat them convincingly last year, so anything's possible. So you know what, I won't rule it out. I won't rule it out at all. Emmanuel Dennis will get 8 goals, says Ryan Yates. I mean, fair play, Ryan. Back in your own team, mate. He did score that goal against Newcastle and that goal against Villa. But really, Dennis, he had a lot of chances, but also there were quite short chances, like off the bench. So really, Dennis still hasn't had a proper run of games. But I can see why people would say sell him, because we probably could get quite a bit of money for him. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens with him. Southwest Reds has said FA Cup winners. Oh man, that yeah. I wouldn't mind another trip to Wembley. Let's just say that. I don't think we'll win the FA Cup. We could go far in the FA Cup because we've done that before. The last 2 seasons we've been excellent in cup competitions. Minus that Blackpool game. Johnson not to be a regular starter. I actually see where you're coming from there because he didn't start games regularly in the last season, and we picked up Liverpool away, came off the bench. Didn't make a huge impact, but overall we worked better without him. Chelsea away as well. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, honestly. Only would Brennan want to do that? And are we really going to reject like 30, 40 million, 50 million for a player that we're going to use as a rotation player? Based off that, you'd sell Johnson for sure for that kind of fee. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to handle Johnson this year. Yates gets an England call up. As much as I'd love that, everyone knows what a fan of Ryan Yates I am. Big up Yatesy. You know, we've got to get that shirt in. However, one, it's Gareth Southgate. He doesn't quite do logic. And two, no, there's not a two. I think Yatesy deserves an England call. Why not? Get him in the squad. I just don't think it will happen though. But, you know, I wouldn't be against it at all. Julian Biancom will become first choice. That's interesting. I'm not sure how Biancom fits in this season because I want him to get game time. I really do. But like, if we were to get Lodi back, it would kind of like make that more difficult for him. So I don't really know how he's going to fit in. I hope he plays a part though, because he's worked a whole year essentially to get fit. It would be really sad if he just wasn't used. You know, I hope he does get used. Cooper sacked by mid-October. Obviously, I don't want this. I mean, looking at the away start, if we lose all them games and then we struggle at home as well, which is rare, then you have kind of got an argument because, you know, we've got Arsenal away, Man United, Chelsea, Man City to start the season. Literally, that's just absolutely horrendous. Then you look at the home games, they are the complete opposite. 2 promoted sides, Sheffield United, Burnley, you know, and then if we're going to continue on, you've got Brentford and Luton as well. Besides Brentford, they're all very winnable games. They're 3 of the promoted sides. So based off that start away from home, we really need to win all 3 of them games. So if we struggle away from home like we did last season, and to be fair, I think any team would find that run of games to start a season difficult. Point is if we don't win the games at home surrounding that away start, then maybe you do have a point. But I'd like to think that Marinakis isn't stupid enough to do that. For us to qualify for the Conference League, Taiwo will get top 3 Premier League goal scorers and Cooper gets Manager of the Season award. The complete opposite to the last comment. I would love a European tour. Not that I'd go on the European away days, unfortunately, but that would be just the most mental thing to see us play in Europe. Taiwo, I think he could be our top goal scorer for sure. Top 3 Premier League goal scorers is a bit of a stretch. And I don't think Cooper will get Manager of the Year unless we get, you know, top 7, like your first comment says. Neil has said, John Shelby to become a cult hero on transfer. That's if he's still here, mate. I don't think he'll still be here, to be honest. He'll be loaned out or sold to the Azerbaijan League or something. Danilo will be one of the best players outside the big 7. 7 as Newcastle now fits into that. That's depressing, isn't it? Maybe not the best. You know, you look at the other options you've got around the Premier League. There's lots of players, but yeah, I think he could be up there. Second season syndrome. We haven't had many negative comments. I don't think. I hope not. I hope not. It could happen, but I don't think it will. Joe Wall will be a key part of our team. Well, he's the captain, so I'd like to think so. But I think you mean more that he was in and out of the side last year, and given how well he ended last season, he could continue playing that key role. How would that, you know, work for Niakate and Felipe? How are we going to manage them two this season with Felipe being older now? And we've quite clearly seen that Felipe is still an absolute warrior despite his age. He could play for a few more years. But yeah, I still think Joe will play an important role. So there was 86 comments. I'm not sure how many I read out. There was a lot though. Some of them did repeat themselves, hence why I didn't put them in. Quite a few people mentioned Awani and Yates. However, there's always next time. I'll continue to do these kind of videos from time to time, so please stay tuned and make sure you follow my Twitter and Instagram while you're at it, just to keep up to date with this remarkable YouTube channel and see my interesting tweets. I think they're interesting, and you can be involved in videos like this potentially. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new. Hope you've enjoyed. Up the Reds.